Sentire Media.
We are recording Buon Primo Maggio. Happy May 1st. You have downloaded the podcast from Italy. Been doing it a long time now, very infrequently.
Mm-hmm. Since about probably 2008 or so.
Yeah, we didn't realize.
No, we were early on this, but yeah, like we said, you wouldn't know by the numbers. I think we're only at 120 some odd podcasts, but
okay, so
over 10 years in, over 12 years in.
Yearly average is not great, but we have been doing it a long time. I'm Jason, sitting across from Ashley, representing the Washington Huskies, wearing a pink jumper or sweatshirt.
First of all, Jason's colorblind. This is
I'm
definitely
sorry,
purple.
I say pink.
And go dogs.
Like I opened it up, Primo Maggio, 1st of May, 9 o'clock in the morning. We've been up for a while. We've already been up cleaning rooms and getting
Two
ready.
coffees in.
2 coffees in, if you can tell by the speed of my talking.
Yep.
Normally we do this a little bit earlier in the morning, but we got to work and I expected the clouds to kind of roll out and warm up, but it hasn't. So we've taken a little break and we'll heat up the microphones.
Well, if you listen to the last podcast or two, we've had a dry winter and the coin has flipped and we have had a wet spring. So April, thankfully we had the April showers, hopefully that we needed. However, if we're jumping right into it.
Well, March and April kind of flipped this year, it seemed like.
Yes, definitely.
March was warm and sunny
we
and
had days
dry.
in the 20s.
And April was wetter and cooler.
Still some mornings at -1.
Absolutely. Now, we got some water, but it doesn't mean that we're good for the year. This just means that we have to now get water through the summertime. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it will be bad. I have prepare yourself. I've prepared myself by bringing a second source of water down to the garden, so I am ready. And because the way the world works, that will mean it will be an extremely wet summertime. Which
100%. The one thing I've learned about living in an old stone farmhouse, and this girl for sure, Murphy's Law applies every goddamn time.
Or maybe we're just looking for it.
I know. But I'm sure that since we are prepared for a possible drought, we will end up with a incredibly wet June, July, and or August. So,
well, let's back it up a little bit,
yep. And
we'll take you back to before Easter and what's going on around here in our lives in the little town of Piobico and the surrounding areas.
This is a podcast light on true facts. We try to be light on fluff, and we just cut straight to the real life stuff.
Dude. Oh, my God. Okay, where do you want to start, Ash?
I want to start with Good Friday.
Okay, Good Friday. Here we go. Serravalle.
So Serravalle is, we live, Piobico is our main little close town, and it sits in the shadow of Monte Nerone. And as you climb Monte Nerone, almost at the peak, the little last village you can reach is called Serravalle. And if Piobico has 2,000 people on a packed day, Serravalle might have 200. I'm sure that's an exaggeration, but
I don't know.
I don't know either, to be honest. We have never done this. We have gone to different Good Friday processions and events throughout our area, but never up at Serravalle. And this one starts pretty late for us. Normally it starts around 10 o'clock or so. And it's also, these kind of Italian festivals are weather dependent. So all of it's outside. And if it's too cold, too wet, Good Friday gets either postponed or canceled.
And these Good Friday kind of procession ceremonies in the evening happen in a lot of small towns throughout Italy, not just Serravalle.
Oh, no, not at all. So we took a little nap, went up there, and sure enough, it was so wonderful. The entire little village that just perches on the edge of the mountain with stunning views of the kind of rolling mountains of the foothills of the Apennines coming down. They all shut off their lights. All the villagers are dressed in costume as you enter the town. There's some of the scenes from Jesus's time of bread makers and people weaving baskets and things. And then we weren't sure what this was going to exactly be. And it was a full-blown production play of the Passion, so of the last days of Jesus' life. And they went all out.
They had 3 stages, and they would rotate scenes through the stages. So they'd have a scene at the first stage, and then everyone would walk, like a 5-minute walk, to kind of the other part of the village.
Only lit by torches.
Yep. And then they'd have another scene, and then you'd kind of walk back to the big main square where there was 2 stages, and they'd kind of switch. It was nice. We stayed for...
Well, let's just say we stayed for about an hour and a half, and we were barely halfway through. That's why we were ready to peace out. I went to Catholic school growing up, and it was like, yep, we're ready. We had a really early morning the next morning, and it was like, yep, this was good. But it was great to go because you run into neighbors, you run into the different shopkeepers, or if any of you guys have been here on our Feel Like a Local Friday and we go up to the Hunters Hideaway at Aqua Partita, everyone from the restaurant is there in costume.
They set up a little living village, like a medieval living village with these different stations throughout the basket weaver and the cheesemaker and the bread baker.
That's what I was saying, exactly.
Sorry. I was staring out the window.
I saw you. Welcome back to the podcast, Jason. It's great. And it just is something that's so wonderful to see, the pride that people put in. I mean, they had lights, smoke machines, the microphones. There was definitely some glitches. It was very Italian, overmodulated microphones. The poor vision of one of the, I don't know, an angel saint. I can't remember who.
You don't know?
No.
12 years of Catholic school?
Exactly.
Can't remember?
Her poor mic kept cutting out so bad if she bent over. But it's beautiful. I love it. The little kids running around. And here's something else we were talking about. With these torches and stuff lit all over town, no one's screwing with it. No one's poking the fire. No kids are trying to light garbage. I don't know. I just always think, could we do this in the States?
Oh, absolutely. Having open torches just at chest level throughout the whole town? Absolutely not.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
And I love how respectful, even if people weren't participating, that all the little lights were out. It just kept the mood perfect.
Well, that's kind of the different mentality here a little bit is you can't, if you stuck your hand in the fire and burned yourself, it's your own fault.
Yeah,
it's
why are you being an idiot?
Yeah,
quit hitting yourself. P.S. If you're hearing any background noise, that's Jason's Carhartt overalls getting a good wash down there in the dryer. So just getting ready for a day's work. But if you hear a little ka-clunk, sorry about the interference. So anyway, Saravala was great. The next morning we were up and at 'em. That was Good Friday. Saturday morning we were out early on our way to Fano to get to the market. There's a big, beautiful farmers market in Fano on Saturday mornings. And we wanted to get there before the herds because this is Saturday, Sunday is Easter, Monday is Pasquetta, Easter Monday, and Tuesday we had a dinner for 25 guests. So we needed to get a ton of groceries. Or not groceries, but produce.
Normally I don't shop that far ahead, but because of the fact that this dinner was on the Tuesday after Easter evening, there is...
Let's talk about this. Let's break it down.
Yeah. Around the holidays, around big holidays for buying food is all out war. It's war. You have to get there early. You have to battle the herds.
You better have a list.
Yeah, you got to
have twice.
You got to have it together because these Italians get together in numbers, so you'll have people shopping for 20 people, and it's a big deal. So we were there bright and early. We were there at 8:00. We got the best parking space I've ever had at the farm.
Unbelievable.
Unheard of.
I was driving. I didn't even get all sweaty and freaked out because
no one on the road.
I
know. Anyway. So we have because if I go and try to do the shopping Tuesday morning when all the shops open back up, it looks like there was just a natural disaster.
Absolutely.
And there is nothing on the shelves. There's anything.
A tumbleweed rolling through. That's how the grocery stores are.
So I like going to the farmer market because there is a ton of different people come down, and you can just get loads of different things. So I needed artichokes for 20 people, so I needed a whole crate of artichokes.
Talk about the price for a quick sec.
50 artichokes, 12 euros. It was
Okay,
awesome.
beautiful.
This time of year, if you're not into fava beans, artichokes,
Peas.
asparagus, peas, strawberries,
Spring greens.
you're in big trouble because that's what's going around. And that's basically what the menu consisted of, those vegetables. And we grabbed everything, and we were out of there before the herds came.
I know,
it was great.
It was wonderful. But it is something to think about, because you might think, like, if you have a bed and breakfast one day yourself, or even just living here and you plan something. Visiting, exactly.
Let's talk about the holidays that we just went through a little bit. We just went through Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, Liberation Day on the 25th of April, and today's May 1st, and we have another May Day holiday.
So within 2 weeks, there's been like 5 holidays.
There's almost more holidays in that period than working days.
Well, absolutely, because everyone closes up. Everything this year, because of the way Easter fell. Between Easter and basically today or tomorrow, which is then Thursday, some people have taken off schools from Easter until May 6th, because that's when Monday is. So it's crazy. From not the grocery store isn't necessarily closed in that break, but small offices, regular businesses.
They'll take that opportunity to close down for a period of time.
So plan ahead.
I saw a few Facebook. I saw a few Facebook. Ashley's on all those stupid traveling to Italy Facebook groups where you ask, "I'm traveling to Italy. What should I pack? I'm going to the Amalfi Coast. Can you tell me some hidden gems?" Anyway, I saw a couple of ones on there about
Jason's a troll.
We're here in around Easter and everything's closed. It's
exactly.
Like you've got to understand if you're traveling here during this period or like August during the Ferragosto, 15th of August, or when there's a group of holidays. Anything to do for entertainment or food will be open. The bar will be open. The restaurants will be open. That kind of stuff will be open. Museums, just getting stuff done will be
small shops
will be closed.
Our first winter here, when we moved to Italy, we arrived at the beginning December 20th or 22nd. And we had grand plans for Christmas feast at our house with my sister, and we didn't realize all the holidays surrounding Christmas, we almost starved.
Yeah, we had no gas in the tank. I thought, after Christmas, the gas man will come. Hey, gas man. No, they're closed till the 7th of January. So
holidays are taken seriously.
Keep that in mind if you're coming here and expecting it to be a holiday. And there's great things to do, because if you're in Rome and everything's closed, but there's so many other, you can go to St. Peter's Basilica and see that whole thing going on. You can go to these little Good Friday things, but a museum might be closed.
Exactly.
So Luke's party. It was great. It was Luke's 75th. Luke and Carolyn are our neighbors down the road. It was his 75th party. I had ulterior motives. Not only did I want to have his whole family here. It's great. I love their family. But it was also an excuse to get the house opened.
Yes. This was so smart, because it was sometime in January or whatnot, and we were talking about this with Luke and Carolyn, and Jason said, have it at our house. And Luke said, I don't want to stress you out. You guys don't even have guests till May. Why have a dinner or a lunch in April? And he was like, no, I insist. Have it at our place. And sure enough, it was brilliant, because we don't have guests until the beginning of May. And we chose not to open it until a bit later this year. However, April has been filled with projects, and it's so easy to get sidetracked with all these outside, building the patio, all the stuff we're about to get into and tell you what we've been up to, that you could forget about something like, well, the dining room's closed. Just leave it there. We'll get to it later. And this forced us to have the whole downstairs guest ready.
Yes. So the house is open. We had our first our training dinner.
We call it spring training.
It went okay.
It went great.
It went okay. I thought it was a little rusty, but as far as from my perspective,
I felt my presentation was excellent.
Your jokes I know your jokes were landing. I could hear.
I even did an impromptu speech. I thought I was flying high.
So that's great. It was nice to see their whole family, and try out a few new things that I wanted to try out for the spring, which is nice. Here's something. I order my meat on Tuesday, a week ahead of time, 7 full days before I need it.
And Jason's got a good butcher.
The butcher usually hooks me up. Well, they made a mistake this time. And when I go to pick up my roast on Tuesday, it's not there. And again, Tuesday after Easter.
And he's cooking for 25.
Nothing there. Nothing. What can you guys give me? What can I do? There's nothing here. They apologize, but it doesn't matter. I don't have anything to make.
No, and there's not like an animal in the back they could go kill.
No, there's no one coming. Yeah, there's nothing. Let's figure. What are we going to do? In the end, we figured it out. We did a pork shoulder roast, which is not what I'd really want to do, but it
came out beautiful.
And that boring story really doesn't have an ending to it.
Well, tell them what you did to it.
Roasted it. Oh, rubbed it. Sorry, made just a rub. Rubbed it down. Roasted it slow in the oven. Rubbed it down with lardo and a bunch of herbs and salt and blah blah blah. And roasted in the oven.
Is that a go-to if you for something like this with the roast? You had one idea in mind of a certain meat and cut you were going to do.
Yeah,
is this a good way to just like?
No, I wanted to do the whole bone-in pork loin with the Frenched bones coming out.
Yes,
which is beautiful.
But Italy throws you curveballs.
Yeah, you got it. It's just a tougher cut. It's not it was fine, but not what I wanted to do. And there had to be something, right?
But this is classic. This is exactly what we're talking about. So, since I mentioned it briefly, we have been busy.
Ashley's dad came into town for a whole month. It was great. He was here when we first moved to Italy, our first few months. He came for about 4 weeks. And this was great because he's an engineer. So we get all the projects that involve electricity or things that I was really struggling with, we got to tackle. So we put in the new pump and the new patio.
Well, tell them what the pump's for.
Well, the pump.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, this is a big deal. So we have a sulfuric water well up at the top by where everyone parks. We really haven't utilized it. I use it to refill the pool and sometimes to water irrigation to water the grass around there. But nothing. It really wasn't being properly utilized.
It's a backup.
This year, we're really worried because the groundwater, the levels are still really low. So this can be a alternate source that we can filter and you throw it through the UV filter and charcoal filter and use it as an emergency water source for the house, as well as I'm going to use it for a main water source for the garden because I don't think the little stream is going to hold up to what I need.
No, because we're not on city water.
Not at all. I think we've talked about this a bunch.
I just like to give a little, in case someone's a first-time listener.
Well, Marty hooked it up. He's installed all the plumbing for the pressure vessel and the pressure valve, and we got water going down. I have a ton of water coming down to the garden now.
This is exciting because now those huge cisterns, Jason used to spend tons of time refilling them.
Yeah, with the stupid gas pump. No more of that. This will be
and the fire hoses.
Yeah, this will be on demand. It's going to be great. So
we're living large.
Woo!
And we did the patio.
Yep.
So we talked about it a little bit. Maybe even on a podcast, we mentioned we were thinking about making it a wood, more like a deck patio. We opted out of that because we have no idea what we're doing.
It's too much of a slope. We would have to literally have put down piers and pylons and all this stuff.
No,
too
thank you.
Too much.
So we went with we called it the pit for a while, and then it was the sandbox for a while. Now it is the patio. But we do these projects ourselves, so it's got to be something attainable. And I'm sure you could hire it out. It probably wouldn't be expensive, but it's also fun to learn how to do this stuff. So we took the old picnic area under the trees, which had some great shade and a beautiful view, and just thought, why don't we repurpose this as a new outdoor lounge area? And so we dug it out, and especially because Jason was mentioning this grade that was a little steeper than that.
54 centimeters.
Yeah.
So we got to rent a mini digger, which was great. Someone in the
We'll tell them how this worked because we don't have we'll get to the tractor a little bit later, but when it comes to finding and renting equipment. It can be difficult because you can't really search online, at least in our area.
In our area, we're too far away from everything. So yes, of course, on the coast, there's big outfits who you can rent equipment from. But out here, you gotta. If you do find something, how do you transport it? Because we don't have a trailer, and to get them to transport the piece of equipment usually is more money than the renting the stupid.
The best place to ask around is at either the hardware store or the building supply stores, and because we in our little area, you don't find a little rental outdoor equipment, cherry picker, digger, anything like that. So it's like you got to kind of piece it together and ask around.
You got to find a guy who has one who will lend it out for some money.
Basically where we got lucky. Jason noticed that the hardware store owner in Piobico had a little digger by one of his properties and was like eyeing it and going, oh, that's
I'm
sweet.
like, where'd you find that thing? Did you rent it? Like, what's going on? He's like, what? No, I picked it up. So-and-so died 2 times over and I bought it, 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, is there anywhere to rent those things around here? He's like, well, what do you need it for? And sure enough, he's like, yeah, I'll bring it over. You can use it for a few hours. And he charged by the hour. It wasn't that expensive. He's 5 minutes, he's in Piobico.
He delivered it and picked it up. So that was huge.
And we got to play on a digger for 5 days, which was great. And now it's made me want,
it's one of these things where you have to get the hang of it at first. But once you get on that seat, you get in the zone. I liked it.
I know. I want one for our imaginary tractor that one day will show up.
I know. Oh, my God.
So it was really useful because we had to dig down the little place where we 4.5 meters by 5 meters. It fell 50 centimeters from the highest point to the lowest point. So that's a lot. So the dirt over there is just this heavy clay compacted over years and years and years. So the digger really there was a learning curve. God knows if a professional came over, it would have taken
zip.
Yeah, 3 hours. They would have been like.
It took us 3 days.
It took us 3 days. But we also dug the trenches for the line that we put for the garden and
tried to fix the driveway a bit. And so then fast forwarding ahead, they built, Jason and my dad built a frame to kind of hold back the now dirt wall that there is. Exactly. And we went and got our gravel. And that, again, the gravel's not expensive at all.
Yeah, well, here it is again. The gravel was 70 euros to fill, but the transportation was 80. So it's like, oh my gosh. So now I think I need a big truck to transport stuff around.
But it's all coming together. We got the antique bricks that go around and make a nice border. The gravel's good. All in.
The only thing that I did that Ashley doesn't like is I filled in around the outside of the wall with the rock, and she said it looks 90s.
So, it looks 90s and like messy.
All right. Well, that's an easy. That's just a couple hours. I can fix that easy.
Yeah, I was like, I do not like that. But also we put in some new lights around.
We did not put
actually,
in
I didn't do shit with that light.
Shit for the lights either.
Marte did it all.
He scoped out the whole lighting pathways of all the outdoor lights and scratched his head and was like, why'd they? It's like, yes, welcome to our world.
This is actually a really quick little glimpse. So this was my dad's first time really diving into some of the projects of the house, of the electrics and things like that. Like we mentioned, he was here before and helped out, but this time we're diving in. And so it was very interesting to see his reaction at times because it's so chaotic when you start opening access panels or things in the holes in the ground, and it's like a lot of what the hell is this?
We find diagrams or different schematics for the systems in the house, and then that's what was submitted to the for the permits, and then you look at what's going on in real life, and it's like, oh, that doesn't look anything like they said they were going to do.
No. So just when you're thinking of remodeling a place or even just doing these small projects, first of all, it helped to have some of these old property house documents and didn't at the same time. Exactly.
Because sometimes it leads you down a path that it's not there, and you're like, what the hell? There should be something here, and I must be wrong. And it's like, nope, they just didn't do it the way they said, and this is what it is.
Exactly.
Like, for instance, we have if you're not interested in this, just fast forward 2 minutes. But we have circuits for the we have one main circuit and 3 sub circuits for the outdoor lighting. 2 of the circuits one circuit has the back part, the other the other has the front part, and then one of the sub circuits only has one light on it. One light on it. Why? The others each have 8 or 12 or whatever it is, a whole section. But this one, just one. That was a head scratcher. There's a lot more like that. All right, welcome back.
Well, it was just entertaining to see a fresh eyes on old problems. And even Luke, when he'd come over and Marty would be like, oh my God, can you believe this? And Luke's like, yep.
Yes, don't open that.
Yep, just close that back up. That's for another day.
But it all came together. And just
and one other thing on these projects.
Yeah.
So whether it's the truck delivery guy was a little bit different, but when we're working with the plumber or something who comes by to pop in on this stuff, just like we've talked about this before with the guy who delivers the wood, what is with them not wanting to take payment?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
You try to pay him right then and there.
I think because we got a bunch of parts. I think he maybe didn't know the prices of the parts. It's always you never know. Either you're paying them cash right there, or 8 months from now you'll get a bill. I have no idea.
I know. It's just another funny, wacky Wednesday in Italy.
All right, tractor update. We talked about last time our big announcement. Woo, boo, 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 that we're working with New Holland CNH tractors, and nothing has happened since then.
No, we're still waiting. It's supposed to be coming. They're building the tractor from scratch, so it's coming sometime in mid-May, and that's the last we've heard of it. We're supposed to be going to something called Yesi Days, which is like a tractor workshop day. Open house and little school to learn how to put on the attrezzi. What are attrezzi called? The equipment. What's that called?
Implements.
And so that'll be fun. Hopefully that'll work out. Of course, the dates they sent us were fully booked with guests.
They closed for 10
They closed
days.
for all that chunk of time in Easter, around Easter too, and still closed. So it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you posted. Once we get that tractor, you will see that is full.
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll know. You will know.
What do you want to talk about the forno?
Oh, yes. Forno a leña, the wood-burning oven. We're doing wood-burning oven class here in when?
We've got one in July and one in September.
So
right over 4th of July weekend.
In spring, it's always time to break out get back into the wood-burning oven. And this year, I really want to do not a patchwork, but a fix, because my oven leaks. I've talked about it a lot. It leaks heat. So I had the muratore, or the mason, come out, and he looks at it and he goes, you got to get in from the top. The problem with getting in from the top and not working from the inside of the oven is ours is built into the it's built in. So you would have to destroy the whole side of that wall that it's in.
And roof the whole thing.
And roof to get into the top. So that's
not going to happen.
Problem. He said there's maybe a product that we can seal the inside with, that's heat resistant, that you kind of put on like stucco, almost like stucco
over the entire thing, kind of making
inside.
A new shell,
exactly, if you will, because simply patching it with the refractory cement does not work anymore. If anyone out there works with in this world and knows of a product like that, please let me know, because I'm having a heck of a time finding it here.
Well, maybe tell people why. How did this start?
This started from my misuse of the oven. And that's the main thing. It is so important to gradually heat your oven up and not just blast off with a big fire, because you will crack it, and I have. And there's no going back. I'm sure when you go to buy these kits and they're like, you can repair it, no problem. It's never the same. It's like totaling a car and trying to repair it. It will still drive, but it's gonna be wonky.
Exactly.
So my oven is wonky, and it's my oven. I love it, and I know the wonk, but I'm trying to cook bread out there, and I need to hold I need to hold 250 degrees for like 2-3 hours, and it's not doing it. It'll dive down. It'll go from 300 to 180, 300 to 180.
Now, what was Gaji's solution?
Why don't you use a thermometer? Like, no shit, old man. How do you think I know it goes from 300 to 180?
And it was so funny. He's like, listen, here's what you need to do.
You need to get these devices. They're called thermometers.
And Jason goes, oh, okay, you mean like this? And he pulls out the one that goes in the oven and the laser one. And Gaji's like, oh. Well, let me continue to keep telling you what to do.
So I'm looking for it's got to be something probably in the fireplace, firebox, something to do with that. That's kind of a coating a product that's going to be a couple of centimeters thick or a centimeter thick that you can not paint on. Sorry. What's the correct word? Like stucco. What do you do with stucco? You don't paint it. You
throw it.
Sure. Throw it on. Trowel it on.
Trowel it on. Trowel it on.
Like a stucco, but that it can hold up to the heat.
Well, I hope you find it.
Yeah, I probably won't.
We've been busy as well working on the website. Go on over and take a look at www.latavolamarche.com. This is the earliest we have ever done this. First to announce on the podcast, we have our.
What's with the horrible?
I have no idea.
Why'd you start doing that?
I have no idea.
Okay,
That's
let's
why.
Just quit it. It's good.
That's why I had to change positions. I was like, something was going on there. Anyway, the 2020 calendar is up. We will keep kind of tweaking it and adding a few other workshops and programs. But if you are one to plan ahead, go for it. This year we are too. Also, if you're looking to rent out the farmhouse for 2020, shoot me a message and I'll send you our Q&A. We've got, we'd love to have you come and fill the farmhouse with your friends and family. I think also, unless you have anything else you want to add, I'm going to read a little bit from the book again. If those want to stick around.
Garden's going in. We're waiting for the soil to dry out, and then we'll start putting plants down.
Sounds good. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. I try to do a bunch of stories here, little videos of the cats, chickens, all of that, and what's cooking, of course. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can shoot us an email, info@latavolamarche, LATAVOLAMARCHE. Talk to you later.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. All right. Thanks for sticking around for the continuation of the unfinished, unpublished, untitled book. And it's really just chapter summaries that are quite extensive. But here we go. We are moving on to summer. Chapter 19, La Transumanza. La Transumanza is the traditional farming practice of moving a herd of cows from the farm in the valley to the lush fields atop Monte Nerone, towering above Piobico, to graze freely for the summer months. From the moment Jason and I heard of this practice, we were ready to help Giancarlo and his family move their cows. This was one of the most incredible experiences I have ever had. Nel mio cuore per sempre, in my heart forever. Not only because I am the first American and female to participate in the Transumanza in Piobico, but for the absolute beauty of the day, feeling more connected to our town and these people more than ever. No matter the age, from 23 to 84, our group left promptly at 4:30 a.m. on a beautiful summer morning. Sadly, Jason offered to drive a guest with a broken foot to Bologna, and instead of a spectacular day in the sun bonding with our neighbors, he was stuck in a hot car without AC in deadlocked traffic on the autostrada, while I was herding cows up a mountain. Off to a quick start due to the horses pushing from the rear, the cows literally ran through the entire village before the sun or townspeople had risen. Taking the turn off the main road, we left the horses behind and continued by foot up on the small winding trail leading to the top of the mountain. Breathing in the smell of wild mint, we stopped along the way for an impromptu picnic. Bread, mortadella, and wine. I was looked at like a crazy lady when I offered water to the group. I pulled out my backpack and my bottle of water and said, "Would anyone like any?" And Carlo flashed his grin and said, "Asley, why drink water when we have wine? It's better for you." After a short rest and finishing off about 7 bottles of wine between the 12 of us, we began moving the cows as the men broke out into song. God, I love Italy. From Ruggero, the big slow bull, which cracked me up because I kept thinking of our plumber with the same name and traits, to the old lady, it was fun naming the cows as we herded. They were massive to be right up next to. I was a little afraid of a stampede, but Giancarlo assured me not to worry, especially about the bull. He's so old and slow, he's not going anywhere quick. And then, of course, there was Norman, the young calf. For all you City Slickers fans, I couldn't stop calling out to him, Norman, hello, thinking my Billy Crystal impression was spot on. No one else was impressed and actually was pretty confused by my antics. They asked if I had thought of this calf spoke English. Of course. No one knew what I was talking about. Most of the time, the heifers just followed the leader with a gentle nudge here and there to keep them in line. But every once in a while, they would wander off course, and we'd have to herd them back and flush them out of the woods. One particular time, a few cows in my zone headed up into the woods. Michele, a true farmhand, I've never seen cleaned up. His skin's so dark and dirty, the whites of his eyes seem to pop. Has been herding cows for 10 years with the Moki family. He shouted out, Ashley, bye, go, get your cows, go, go, push them. I loved it. As the only girl, I was glad not to be cut any slack. I wrangled them back in no time. Welcomed by family and friends with a huge picnic of pranzo organized by Paola, Giancarlo's sweet older sister, the cows arrived at the top of Monte Nerone around 10:30 a.m. It was all worth it for the view. My God, how spectacular. I could see from the Adriatic Sea deep into Tuscany with a patchwork quilt of farm and hills in between. I was proud that I had made it to the top and hadn't wussed out in front of the guys. If they could do it, so could I. A few of the herders laid their weary heads in the meadows for a quick nap in the warm sun. The rest of us recounted our favorite moments, just enjoying the day we spent together, forever bonded by this great journey. The cows, tired and hungry like us, were all happy to arrive at the top of the mountain, to relax in the green fields and begin their grazing. The herd will remain on Monte Nerone, free to graze on grass like cows should, until mid-October, when they will return to the Moki farm, back through town. The Transumanza is a complete group effort. Farmhand, family members, friends, they all help participate in this annual tradition. Among the many are Franco the farmhand and town polenta maker, Enrico, a good college friend of Giancarlo, Michele, Tiziano, Giacobbe, Guido, who for a decade have never missed the Transumanza. Completely honored my name will be on that list as one of the faithful few. And I must say, I think I'm a pretty good cowherd and city slicker. With a glass of red wine, I take a bite of prosciutto panini and watch the happy cows atop the mountain. I think, perhaps the grass is greener sometimes. Just like the cows, Jason and I have survived an uphill battle to graze in finer pastures. After completing this pilgrimage with a group of 13 neighbors, it solidified us in the community. We are here to be part of it. All of it. Through the snowy winters, helping push hundreds of cattle up the mountains, participating in a quote-unquote protest to fix our road, shopping daily at the local markets. We weren't going home, and now they understood. It seemed to be a collective agreement. There must have been another town hall meeting. So much so, a miracle happened. After 6 months, we had our first delivery of mail without a middleman. I'll never forget seeing the postman's white and yellow Fiat Panda pull up the driveway. It came running down the stairs, shouting the entire way, "They found us! They found us! They know we're here!" It was really more exciting than you could ever imagine. All right, we'll stop there for today. And next time, Chapter 20, Running Over the Hill. This is from Jason's point of view. All right, have a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.